Hello, everyone. This is FluxCat, and welcome back to a deep dive into GP Reads High Five Friends. Uh, Honestly, I'm just gonna be real, y'all. This episode, I will be butchering a lot of what I learned, and honestly, there's not a whole lot to go into other than the ending, which actually does have some situations in. So we're just gonna blast through this episode as best as I can, though knowing how much I talk, it's probably still gonna be same length. But there is quite a lot to go through, and it's honestly very intriguing to say the least. So first off, as should be noted, happy we do get some answers to our that thing, but we do kind of literally learn that Happy pretty much decided to go out either way, and that's because in the Twitter feed, which we'll soon see in a bit, there was also the same question happen on Twitter, but then it just switched to yes also on Twitter, as we'll soon find out. And sorry if this was slow, I accidentally left the slow mode on, so I will have to quickly get that out of the way. But either way, long story short, what happened, there's the thing. Long story short, what happened is Happy does get caught in by the killer. Well, almost get caught by the killer. Owlsley falls into their trap, even though people try to warn him not to. He then gets to safely to the detective's house. The detective allows him in, and the detective finally explains at least everything to Happy on what's going on. And to be honest, this is the part where I got tripped up a little bit because honestly, I rewatched this scene multiple times to get what he's talking about, and I kind of get it, but again, I will butcher it. So basically, what happens is the detective quickly finds out that there might be, at least this is the detective's theory, there might be multiple robots being used by Naomi or Soul Corp to cause these murders. This is because, as he points out, the smiley face killer never actually is the same killer twice. So it's plausible that the smiley face killer ended up being of course another robot each time, except for this one. And he deeply believes that Happy is actually the true target of this one. Though what this could mean, who knows? And of course, when he had to reveal to Happy, which was revealed in the previous episode, he had to reveal to Happy that yeah, their friendship, even though it was later on was genuine, at the start it wasn't, because he was obviously trying to be as an agent, trying to look into things and get close. However, as like any other cliche of that, he actually does get actually genuinely close to him, and he didn't want to hurt his feelings. But it does seem like they are going to be like friends towards the end here, so that's fine. It's just a very sad scene to watch, honestly, because yeah, you kind of feel bad because you can tell the detective isn't really a bad guy at all. He never was. He was just trying to solve a mystery. And then towards the end, we find out that Happy gets another text from Joy, because if you didn't know, the reason why Happy had to go outside was because he wanted to protect his sister. This was all revealed in the previous episode, of course. And honestly, it seems like the killer still does have Joy as well. And honestly, he they did try to detective did try to talk to and did exceed, telling Happy that he needs to come with him, but Happy, someone had to make him promise, keyword someone, because it didn't truly work because he crossed his fingers behind his back, but he made the detective promise not to kill anyone. And honestly, I agree with a little bit of a detective. There's not going to be any blood. There's not going to be any bloodshed bloodshed in this one. Like, there's gonna be bloodshed once they go through it, to be honest. So, and then we get to the boss, and the boss is about to come over there too because he forgot his phone, which has some importance, obviously. And yeah, all three of them are now at the end are now heading towards the studio, and yeah, all hell is gonna break loose at episode 9. Let's just be real here. And yeah, you can kind of see I did just blast through that because again, there's not a whole lot to talk about. Now again, I did butchered um what the detective said. I will admit that because again, I kind of lost reality of what he was mean. What I got, and this is what I got, is there are at least robots that are being used to at least due to killings. I could be wrong also on that, but to be fair, knowing Naomi, it could be robots, could be any project that are clones that are killing, but the killer is never the same thing twice in order to hide off. Now, you might be wondering why, if this is Naomi's doing, then why the fuck they're doing it. And honestly, again, it's a I don't know kind of scenario. At this point, by now we know that Naomi has a very unique problem of them being, a very bizarre cult in some way. However, so this one would be something like what they could have done, to say the least. However, this is Naomi we're talking about, so anything is possible, but why they're doing it, I have no idea, to say the least. However, what is interesting is what happened towards the ending, because and this is the real part of this episode. That is, we actually get 2 episodes again on the GP Read channel. And yeah, on the other one, you can kind of see why. If you don't remember, and just to recap, the last episode also did this with Blanco breaking in and showing us a video of, the boss guy talking to a woman, which I don't remember what I truly said in that, but obviously I knew that was connected in some way. However, obviously, of course, Naomi is going to know that, obviously, because they've been watching people and that whole thing. And the boss also caught in because, he basically, well, I'll just go ahead and play the ending so you can kind of see what's going on. Because, yeah, you can tell he's very upset at the whole situation.
Hello! Whoops, did I scare you, kiddos? Sorry about that. I just need to make sure that I had your attention. The previously unauthorized video uploaded to this channel contained a section at the end that was full of lies. Lies that garnered suspicion towards me, and then that liar followed it up with a section at the end of the video on my channel that contained a deepfake call with someone who looked like Tiffany. I want to clarify that I never had a relationship with Tiffany. She was my underling. As a managerial unit, I am not allowed to date my workers. So, this never happened. I would also like to confirm that I never conspired to hurt Happy. These were all lies designed to defame me and to divert suspicion from the true criminals here. Well, 2 can play at that game. So just in case you don't believe me, I'm gonna upload footage of a recorded voice call between Richard and Blanco on the High Five Friends YouTube channel. Let's have a real talk. Blancos can't be trusted. Blancos lie for their contractors. This is a fact. Their whole existence is dedicated to changing things, protecting people, and solving mysteries. But this is all done by contract. They don't care if the person is good or evil. As long as they pay their dues, they spin the situation in their direction.
So, that begs the question. Was this hidden video thing on the High Five Friends channel that is the recording of these 2 guys? Well, okay, to be very honest, it's like he said, but there's not really much to actually put doubt suspicious on him. Like, for example, he says that this exposes things, but the only thing it just shows is, yeah, Happy's father is a dick, but we always been knew this already. Like, because yeah, he is kind of a dick. I mean, it just shows us too because he basically calls Happy valuable, but not in a life sense, and just need, and it's like doesn't care what happens to him. Just a very interesting situation. Now, as for Blanco, honestly, I don't know, but yeah, this does confirm Blanco did in fact send a detective over there. Although it does confirm also by Blanco that the detective himself was already in the area, which, I mean, if you're wondering where I'm going with this, I don't think this was a good, like, if he wanted to show that Blanco was evil, this wasn't the video to kind of prove it. I mean, to say the least. Yeah, it does prove that Blanco does have a role in this, but in a way, his role is sort of minor and nothing concerning. Now, I will say this, though. To be frank, and the best part about all this is basically this just confirms that the only person you can trust in this situation is Happy. Maybe the detective, because it seems like the detective on his own does want to solve this case. Because if he was there on his own without even Blanco ordering him, it's plausible that he's doing this by himself. Because it really does sound like that. And as for the Blanco situation, to be frank, Blanco is tricky because on one hand, yes, there are tons of Blancos. I mean, we've been through this by this point that there's tons of color Naomis in different color groups. And let's be real here. I mean, it's hard to believe if Blancos really are evil because one of them got, to my opinion, I still believe this. And if you may remember this, but there was this Blanco, this one video way before the High Five Friends, this Blanco got a helmet on his head. It sounded like they blew up. That's literally a fad, like a freaking Saul crap. I remember saying what it called. So honestly, it's debatable because again, it's hard to trust any Naomi. I mean, these guys would literally clone someone and make robot clones of them to try to say something good. I know because not only have they made clones of Mikey Lugo, but we all and a few others, but they also made a clone of me, literally Naomi Cat, which honestly have not appeared ever since. But literally, it's hard to trust these people, to be frank. Like literally. And as for the boss, I mean, he's more in line with the Naomi, so he can't be truly trusted. But who knows? Like again, the only person that truly gets a pass is Happy because throughout the series, we've been, while it is true that he has a little bit of problems, we do have some explanations of that, especially in this episode, which also kind of explains why something about waves in his programming, and for some reason they've been on for some reason. At least that's according to the detective. Again, I'm butchering it, but it does explain why he's so off because though logic and heart could be literally glitches in his programming, to say the least. I don't know. But it's definitely like clear that Happy isn't a bad person. He's just very much dealt with a lot of abuse from his family, and really he doesn't know how to handle certain situation. He really is just a person who accidentally is involved and doesn't want to be involved for good reason. But this is a very tricky situation. It's a very, very, very tricky situation, to say the least, on who we can trust. Which is fine because that's kind of the point. One of the points of this series. I mean, if you know anything about GP Reed, it's unknown who you can trust. Like even before the High Five Friends, because remember he was trying to work because at least the character and GP Reed as a channel per se, gotta make it clear. They got taken over by Naomi for a while before something happened. They fall out of the sky, hit the grass, and got out of their way. it's a very tricky situation. It's hard to trust who is, but hey, at least it's a very interesting thing. And we're definitely getting ready to go to the ending of this series. And of course, after episode 10 and looking into that episode, I'll definitely also do another video of kind of looking in what exactly this series is truly about. And I think it's pretty clear what at least one of the biggest symbolisms is. And that is like, yeah, this is literally a symbolism for how bad companies could get with their employees. And literally it just shows. It really does show. Now, I could be wrong on that symbolism, but it really is something like that. And I've seen it before. But honestly, that's pretty much it. There's nothing else to say about this other than the fact that, yep, that happened. And yeah, this was a very short dive into, but it is very interesting because we're definitely building up to episode 9 and 10. That's the whole point of this episode. And it definitely really shows. And I can't wait to see it. But of course, we're going to have to wait because usually these things take time. Anyways, this has been Floxcat, and I'm snapping out of here. Bye bye.